Hello, this is Kara from Kara Tarot with a general reading for Saturday, October 18th, 2025. Today I am using the Cult of Weimar Tarot. And the spread that I'm using is from tarotforum.net or Aeclectic Tarot. It is an 8-card spread called My Life Ain't So Bad After All spread. This is the last day that I'm working with this as my deck of the week, and I have just completely enjoyed working with this deck, in spite of the fact that it can be a little hard to use online because of the amount of nudity in it. Okay. So as I turn everything, I have to look at them first. And here we go. Something positive that I think I'm losing, but I'm not. And it's the devil. Something positive that I think I'm losing. Well, I guess, your obsessions and the things that excite you and give you a lot of energy, it's, you could feel that you're losing that. In certain periods of your life, you could just feel that you've lost the spark, you've lost the energy that drives you to find out about things and look into things and be curious about them. And what am I worrying about that is not even an issue at all? Worrying about knowing the rules and being able to follow the rules and say this is not an issue, most likely because you already know the rules and you've already played by the rules a lot. So that's the time in which you can improvise and start to play around with the rules once you know the rules. That's kind of like art studies are usually done that way, is that you learn the technical stuff first, and then you spend your professional life breaking the rules because you know where the baseline is. And I think that's something for most of us who are adults, we already know what the baseline is. What am I worrying about that's not even an issue at all? It could also be trying to find your spirit when you already are quite spiritual. And if constantly trying to find and tap into your spiritual depth when you may already have quite a bit of spiritual depth. Number 3, something negative that I think about myself that is far from true. Queen of Cups. I'd say the thing that you think about yourself or that you have accepted others to say about you is that you are overly emotional. That you're too sensitive, that you're giving too much, you're caring too much about others, and that's simply not true. That's impossible. And that you're overly emotional is usually the first attack of people who are hurting you and then telling you that you're overreacting. So I'd say something for you to think about is that you're not over emotional, you're not too sensitive. You are sensitive. You are emotional. You're in touch with those things. That doesn't mean it's too much. It might be too much for people who don't want to hear it or who don't care. Number 4, a special quality that I have that others seek to acquire. The Ace of Wands. This would be, this is an interesting Ace of Wands because this finger has a a bandage on it, and the arms are really emaciated. And yet, here we are, the ace, this beginning of creativity, this inception of new ideas. And it looks kind of like broken chairs in the background here. A special quality that you have that others seek to acquire is the amount of inspiration and creativity that you have. And if you are someone who has a lot of follow through on them, people are usually jealous of that too, because a lot of people have more creative ideas than they realize. What makes people artists is that their ability to follow through and produce on that, and not care about what other people think. All of those things are part of the creative process, but this is the inception point. And just having kind of free-flowing ideas, a lot of people feel that they don't have that and would be very jealous of your like boundless ability to think of new things. Now, whether you have the time and energy to do everything you think about doing, that's a completely different thing. 5, something amazing that I have that I take for granted. Ooh, the 3 of Swords. Something amazing that I have that I take for granted. That's interesting. Well, this would go back to that you are emotional, that you do feel things, that things are able to pierce you. And that's just an amazing quality. So many people today value being hard and really don't care about others. And so I think that this is some people call it being stupid, to be caring so much for others, but other people recognize that that's an enviable quality, to be able to care so much, that it would be what an empath is. It would be what someone who is receives psychic messages. These would all be the things here that you're being able to be pierced through the core with messages. And it could be something that you take for granted because it can be hard. Something that I desire that I think will make me happy, but won't. Oh, the Chariot. Ostensibly, it would be things. But here we have power also. It's amazing to me, the people that we have in power right now, how angry and unhappy they are, even though they have power, even though they are wielding power in a way that hurts other people and takes things away from people who need it and tramples other people into the ground. They're still angry and deeply unhappy. And this is it. They're driving ahead. They are forcing their way through, and force just doesn't bring happiness. It just can't. Something tough that I'm dealing with that will no longer be a problem soon. Oh, well, let's hope that this refers to this. Justice. Justice is something, wow, this suddenly just exponentially expanded into a larger issue reading, where if we're talking about this and lack of empathy or too much empathy and creative impulses, and something tough that you're dealing with, that we're all dealing with, is justice, finding justice right now, getting justice, having the justice system to act appropriately. All of those things says it will no longer be a problem soon. Now, there are 2 ways that could go. It will no longer be a problem soon because there's going to be a massive shakeup and a change, or it will no longer be a problem soon because there simply will not be any justice system left. And that's the thing, when you're getting messages, you have to be careful that you're not just reading it for the one you want it to be. You have to acknowledge the other one, that there may be no justice system left at all, that there may be no system in place, nothing to uphold justice, nothing to force accountability. That's a dire scenario, but the question here is, it will no longer be a problem. Well, and that's where you have to be able to read it both ways. We have those two options. And finally, something positive coming my way that reminds me that my life ain't so bad after all. Amusing. This is the Hermit. I just want us to take a closer look at this Hermit with this odd sort of tunic gown on. Gultaf Angel, un Arm Ikam use, I don't speak German well enough, in Frieden, Gultaf Angel. I'm going to pause and look that up to see what it says about that card. These are all usually about specific performers. This is the Barefoot Prophet, Gustav Nagel. As a counter to the rise of modernism and city life, he was part of a movement that was the precursor to the hippie movement that came decades later. He was no doubt an influence on the style and substance of later counterculture movements. He preached a simple life, living close to nature. He encouraged vegetarian living, natural medicine, and spiritual development. He incurred a fair amount of ridicule, but he also had a sizable following of people who came to his temple not far from Berlin. He often visited the city looking to find more people to follow his teachings and help support his way of life. And the banner says, I come to you in peace. Gustav Nagel. So it wasn't Angel, it was Gustav. Okay, so now back to our question. Our question is, something positive coming my way that reminds me that life ain't so bad after all. As one of the, is this your strength, your internal strength, your internal sense of your own spirituality, which we talked about earlier. Your ability to set aside obsessions and to focus on the things that you feel are of essence and importance. And those are the things that will be coming your way, but are reminders that your life isn't so bad. That yes, these larger scale things are disturbing and dangerous to many around the world, not just in our country, but here we have this. It is your internal strength that gets you through, and that's true in any situation, really. We know that. And it's just a reminder that's coming up. And so you're probably going to be getting a reminder soon that, or today, that your internal strength is carrying you more than you realize. And that may also mean that you're going to be tested in a way that really tests your ability to live according to your highest ideals, and how are you going to fare in that encounter. And this is saying that it should be a good result there. I'm going to add one Lenormand card. Les chemins, choices, decisions, options. And I'm going to try to make a rough translation of this French quote by Victor Hugo that is here. La volonté trouver la liberté choisie, trouver et choisir ses pensées. Whatever you find, choose liberty. Find and choose these. That is to think. So, choice, decision, options, conjecture. This card is, that actually, it's interesting, this, having read what it says about it, it's saying my conjecture about this, that you may be confronted with a choice that you have to make. And it may be a difficult choice. And it's going to be a choice of whether you're going to be living up to your ideals or not. And that quote is saying, you have to make a choice and choose the choice of the highest thought. But we know this. We know this. It's not always easy to do as we think it is. There may be variables involved. And that's kind of what he's saying. Whatever you find, still make that choice. Make your choice the choice. He was known for, Gustav Nagel was known for being greatly ridiculed for his the way he presented himself and his beliefs, and yet he had a great following. So, a hard-hitting reading today, but these are the times we are in. I hope that's helpful to you. I hope it's helpful to you to know it's bigger than you, and it's bigger than us, and we need to remain sensitive, remain true to our ideals in the face of great force and ephemeral justice. This is Kara from Kara Tarot. Have a strong day. Thank you. As I started to pack up, I thought, I wonder what's on the bottom of the deck. I usually read the bottom of the deck as the opposite of what it is, and it's the Nine of Pentacles. Extreme comfort, appreciation for what you have. So if we're reading the opposite of this, it's unfortunately reinforcing. You're coming up to a difficult choice. It's going to be uncomfortable. And that's where it really remains important to do what you know is right internally, or else you're going to be uncomfortable forever. So even though you have to stick to difficult and uncomfortable things, making that choice is really essential. Thanks again.